Hello friends, I am Dr. Asif from the Department of Geography, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. I am working here as Assistant Professor. Dear friends, today I will discuss a module which is very interesting. The title of the module is Map Projection, Coordinate System and Datum. First of all, I would like to tell you what is projection. Why do we need the projection? And what are different types of projections? We will try to give the answer of all these questions in today's module. Then I will discuss with you coordinate system, and after that we will discuss datum. So first of all, we will start with the map projection. You all know that the earth is a sphere in nature. And we need to transform this spherical earth into a piece of paper, and for that we required map projections. You all know that the earth is three-dimensional in nature, and we need to transform the three-dimensional earth on a plain paper, on a two-dimensional plain paper. So for that we required map projections. You know that globe is the best representation as far as the representation of earth is concerned. You all know the shape of the globe. It is circular in nature, just like the earth's surface. But with the globe, we are having several limitations. We cannot construct the globe on a very large scale. Say for example, if we will construct a globe on a scale of 1:1 inch is to 1 mile, then we require a globe whose radius is about 330 feet. So this large size globe cannot be taken anywhere, and it is very difficult to carry that. The second important limitation with the globe is that we cannot represent a portion of the earth with the help of the globe. But when we will construct the features or the earth's surface itself on a sheet, then sheets are very easy to carry out. But to construct the globe or to construct the earth or a part of it on a sheet, we required the projection along with certain other things like scale, etc. Dear friends, it is a difficult task to transform the three-dimensional earth surface on a two-dimensional plain paper. But with the help of the projections, we are able to transform the earth into a piece of paper. Let's talk about the different projections. If we will look at the history of the development of projection, then we are having several types of projections. And they are classified on the basis of the way in which they are constructed. The transformation of three-dimensional earth on a piece of paper is a difficult task. Look at this globe. Here we are having this globe, and suppose a plane is passing through this globe. A straight line or a plane is passing through this globe. So the area which is touching to this globe will be true in scale, size, shape and direction. But look at the area which is away from this globe. Here, if we will throw a light somewhere from here, then you will find that these areas will be exaggerated on a transparent plain sheet. Similar case is here. As we will move away from this central point and away from the point which is touching this globe, the area, shape and size will get distorted. So therefore, we want to correct this area, shape and size with the help of the different projections. So I think now you will be able to understand why do we need the projection for the construction of map on a plane sheet. As I told you, we are having different types of projections depending upon the area which they are covering and also depending upon the plane on which they are constructing. Broadly, we can classify the map projections into three important categories. The first and the most important category is conic or conical projection. Conic or conical projection. When we talk about the conic or conical projection, you all know about the shape of cone. Suppose we place this cone from the top on a globe. So the area which will touch the globe will be known as the prime meridian, or will be known as the area where the scale will be true to the meridian. Look at the map which I will draw. Dear friends, here we are having globe, and suppose I am constructing a cone over this globe. Look at this cone. And parallels are drawn on this globe like this. So this is the area where these parallels are touching to the globe, and we will certainly draw a central meridian from the center of this cone. So if here it is touching with the globe, this will be known as the prime meridian. The scale will be correct along this meridian, and when we will move away from this meridian, the scale will start distorting. Conic projections further divided into number 1, conical projection with one standard parallel, conical projection with one standard parallel. This conical projection with one standard parallel is used in those areas which are having very less north and south dimensional. Dear friends, look at this conical projection. As I told you, where this cone is touching the globe, that will be the prime meridian, and the area, size and distance will be correct only along this meridian. So the area which are having a lesser north-south extension can be drawn with the help of conical projection with one standard parallel. The second important projection is conical projection with two standard parallel. With two standard parallel. Conical projection with two standard parallel. This is nothing but here we assume one more standard, one more parallel where the shape, size and scale are measuring as correct. So here we get two parallels. Along with these two parallels, the scale is correct. But we have to select these two parallels or these two standard parallels very carefully. Dear friends, suppose we want to draw a map of the latitudes between 30 degree and 80 degree. So the 2/3 area of this gap should be in between these two standard parallels, and 1/6 of the area should be along both sides of these standard parallel. By adopting this technique, these two standard parallel map will give us desired or very good results. The third important category of this conical projection is known as bones projection. In bones projection, basically we considered all the parallels or all the parallels as prime meridians. All the meridians as the prime meridians, or all the meridians are supposed as true to the scale. But the base of drawing of the map will be the first standard or the one standard which we draw initially. So in bones projection, we considered all the parallels which are being drawn as standard parallels, and therefore the scale, area, shape and size along all these parallels will be true. But the important thing which you need to keep in mind, dear friends, is that the base of drawing all these parallels is the first standard parallel, and on the basis of this standard parallel we draw the bones projection or bones conical projection. The last important subdivision of this conic or conical projection is polyconic or polyconical projection. Here we are supposed to impose several cones on this globe, and these several cones touches along different parts east or west of the globe, and where these several cones touches along both the parts are classified as standard parallels. So this was the fourth most important division of the conic or polyconic projection. The next projection and the next important projection in this category is cylindrical projection. Dear friends, I will explain you cylindrical projection with the help of a diagram. Look at the diagram. Dear students, this is suppose globe. And we will place a cylinder over this globe. The area which is touching this globe will be true to the scale, will be true to the shape and direction, and the area which is further away from this globe, and you look over here, the area which is further away will get distorted. If we want to construct this cylindrical project on a map, suppose we open this cylinder, so it will be just like a plain sheet. Cylindrical projection further can be divided into many subparts. Dear students, in cylindrical projection, parallels and meridians are equally spaced, or we can say, when we will draw it here on a sheet like this, these longitudes will be equally spaced. But when we will draw the latitudes or meridians, their spacing will increase away from the equator. Their spacing will further increase away from the equators. So we can say that the area which is touching to this globe can be truly represented with the help of the cylindrical projection. This cylindrical projection is very good and very better as far as the representation of the equatorial area is concerned. As I told you, cylindrical projection can be further divided into number 1, equal area cylindrical projection, equal area cylindrical projection. In this equal area cylindrical projection, we are having the grids of latitudes and longitude placed at equal intervals. Suppose the area is touching here. This area is touching here. So we will calculate the distance of this area, and all our grids will be equal to this area, and these all grids will having equal dimensions as far as the arrangements of latitudes and longitude is concerned. So in equal area projection, in cylindrical projection, the distance away from the equator of this grid increases, but in equal area projection, the distance among this grid at all the places remain the constant. The second important projection in this category is Mercator's projection. Mercator's projection play a vital role in the development of history of cartography. Mercatus developed this projection in the year of 1512 and later used it. Mercator was a person who was a native of Britain, and you know Britain was a sea power at that time. The most important thing in Mercator's projection is that it is orthomorphic, which means it is true in shape, and also it is true of direction. When we talk about the shape, so the geometry or the relationship between two things should not be changed. I will give you an example. Here we are having a square. The breadth is 2 centimeter and the length is 4 centimeter. But if we will make it just double, the width will be 4 centimeter and the length will be 8 centimeter. Here what is common? The size changed, but the shape remained constant. Similarly, this is the advantage with the Mercator's projection, that the shape in the Mercator's projection remain true. And the second important feature of Mercator projection is it is true to the direction. Let me explain you few important things about Mercator's projection. These were the plus point of Mercator's projection. But one thing I would like to tell you, that this projection is better for the areas near or located at the equator. When we will move away from the equator, the area will get started exaggerating. And therefore, during the British Empire, it seems that the map constructed on Mercator's projection in the higher latitudes exaggerated in area. As you might know that Greenland is 1/10 to the size of the South America, but in Mercator's projection, its size looks like equal to South America. Similarly, Russia looks much larger, what exactly it is. So the important thing is, when we move away from the equator towards the higher latitudes and towards the North Pole, the area get much bigger in sizes with the help of the Mercator's projection. Mercators also follow the equal grids of latitudes and longitudes, but the important point which we need to remember in Mercator's projection is that it was very true to shape and size and direction. Shape and direction. After the Mercator's projection, we get several improvements in the Mercator's projection. And with the passage of the time in the 16th century and in the 17th century, people works on the Mercator's projection and try to improve it. And the improved version of Mercator's projection is transverse Mercator's projection. Transverse Mercator's projection is the modified version of Mercator's projection. In transverse Mercator's projection, we place the cylinder a little bit tangent. You will be clear about it with the help of this diagram. This is the globe, and suppose we are having cylinder around this like this. By placing the cylinder or by placing the plane surface like this, we will be able to overcome the exaggeration. And the areas which are being touching on this cylinder get the true scale and true direction and true shape. And if we will start repeatedly revolving this cylinder around the globe and will divide it into different zones, then we will get true locations of different places on the surface of Earth. On the basis of this transverse Mercator's projection, we developed the universal transverse Mercator's projection. In universal transverse Mercator's projection, dear student, we divide the whole world into 60 zones. Having the north-south extension of 8 degree and east-west extension of 6 degree, and the center of each zone is classified as the prime meridian or the datum point, which is the referencing point to map the world. With the help of the universal transverse Mercator's projection, we are able to draw the whole world into different small zones correctly as far as the shape and size is concerned. Dear students, third important category of the projection is known as zenithal or azimuthal projection. In previously described two projections, we have formed a cone of a plane paper, that is known as conical projection, and second, we formed a cylinder known as cylindrical projection. But in this zenithal projection, we keep the plane paper or plane sheet touching at the top or anywhere on the globe, and that remain straight. Zenithal projection can be divided into many categories. The important categories are: number 1, mnemonic projection; number 1, mnemonic projection. In mnemonic projection, we draw the light on a paper from the center of the globe. The figure will explain it in a more easy and comprehensive manner. This is the globe. Here we are having the center, and here we are having a plane paper. So we will extract the light from the center of the globe, and that is known as mnemonic projection. The second important projection is orthographic projection. In orthographic projections, light is coming on a plain paper from the infinity and the rays are straight. With the help of the diagram, we can explain it in this particular manner. Here we are having the globe and here we are having the plane surface touching the globe, and the light is coming from infinity in a straight way. And the third important category in this projection is stereographic projection. In stereographic projections, the light drawn from the opposite angle or from the diagonally from the opposite angle of the surface where it is placed, where the plane paper is placed. We can understand it with the help of the diagram in this manner. Here we are having the globe and this is the surface touching the globe, and this is the opposite angle, and from this opposite angle light is drawn to this, and therefore it is known as stereographic projection. Other two important projection in this categories are azimuthal equidistance projection. This projection is basically a non-prospective projection. The distortion away from the center increases. This projection is basically helpful in finding out the air routes for a shorter distance. The next in this category is Lambert azimuthal equal area projection. In this projection, we try to preserve the area, the other things get distorted away from the center. So in this way, we explained the different types of projection we use in different parts of the world. After the projection, I would like to explain you the coordinate system. You all know that the locations on the Earth's surface can be found out with the help of the coordinate system. The coordinate system can be divided into number 1, geographical coordinate system. Geographical coordinate system can be found out in terms of x and y locations. You know, the world map has been drawn upon the latitudes and longitudes. We are having a grid system of latitudes and longitudes across the world. These latitudes and longitudes give the xy coordinates on the surface of Earth, and they are known as the geographical coordinates. The line which divides the world into two north and south part is known as the equator, and if we will move towards the north of the equator, we will reach to the 90 degree of the equator, to the 90 degree north pole, and if we will move towards the south of the equator, we will reach at the 90 degree south of the equator. Towards the north, we can call it 90 degree positive, and towards the south, we can call it 90 degree negatives. Similarly, if we will move away from the prime meridian towards east and west, prime meridian which pass through the Greenwich gives a position of 0 degree. Second is projected coordinate system. The projected coordinate system is defined on a planar 2D surface. The PCS has constant area, length and angles across the 2D, unlike a geographic coordinate system. The PCS is always based on a spheroid like geographic coordinate system. The PCS consists of map projection
and set of projection parameters that modify the projection for a specific location and linear unit of measure other than geographic coordinate system. The location of any geographic features are identified using xy coordinates on a grid with the origin from the grid center. Each entity has two positions value that reference to the central location. These two values are called the x coordinate or longitude, which specify its horizontal position, and y coordinates or latitudes specifying its vertical position. The third important coordinate system is vertical coordinate system. The vertical coordinate system defines the origin for depth or height values of features, whether the z values shows as elevation or depth. The positive z value shows height and negative value shows depth. Mostly, information in vertical coordinate system is not necessary unless we want to show a database with other data that uses a different vertical coordinate system. The next important thing in our module is datum. The shape of the earth is like a oblate sphere is called ellipsoid. Datum is a mathematical model and used for the purpose of surveying and mapping the earth. A datum includes series of numbers that define the size, shape and orientation of the ellipsoid. Datum is selected to provide the accurate shape of the earth model. There are various numbers of datum, but the two followings are important. Number 1, horizontal datum. It determines the location of features on the earth's surface related to the origin of x and y coordinates. The North America datum of 1927 has been used as reference datum. Maps prepared in NDA 27 continue to the main source for geographical information system data. In the beginning of 70s, it became clear that the NDA 27 would require replacement with advanced satellite technology. The most recent datum, North American datum of 1983, being used in North America. The NAD is a unified geometric datum to providing a special reference for the North America and successor to NAD 27. Today, the most common used datum is World Geodetic System 1984, maintained by the US National Imagery and Mapping Agency. It is a conventional terrestrial reference system. The global positioning system used the reference coordinate system of WGS84. It is same as the North American datum of 1983. The second important datum is vertical datum. It is a base measurement point from which determine the location of features on the earth's surface related to an elevation like mean sea level. Different elevation values were calculated by the surveys without use of common datum. Earlier in the common group of point has been the National Geodetic Vertical Datum of 1929. With the advanced technology was introduced an updated vertical datum, namely the North America Vertical Datum of 1988. It was created and adopted by the federal government for determining the heights as a new basis. The NAVD 88 is more computable and accurate than the NGVD 29 with the latest surveying and mapping technologies such as GPS. Today, the most important VDs are: number 1, tidal datum. It is determine the average water level at a tide gauge over a period of time. For example, mean low water, mean high water, and mean sea level. The second is geodetic datum. The geodetic datum is measured through geodetic leveling, measuring the height differences among points on the ground. National Geodetic Survey has responsibilities of defining, providing access and maintenance of geodetic vertical datum in the US and its territories.
So dear friends, in this module, I try to explain what is projection, why do we use the projection and what are different types of projection. As I explained to you that we are having three important types of projection, namely cylindrical projection, zenithal projection and conical projection. The use of these three projections is different. Conical projection is more useful and suitable for the middle latitudes, and as you know that the zenithal projection is more suitable for the polar regions. With this, you will get that it is very difficult to transform the whole globe into a single map projection without any distortion. You will come to know that if we want to present correctly different parts of the globe on a plane surface, then we require different types of projection. Also, we need to know the coordinate system of the world in terms of latitudes and longitudes. Particularly the geographical coordinate system is very important as far as the understanding of map projection is concerned. Also, we need to understand the datum. Datum is nothing but it is a referencing plane which we use as a reference to map something or to find out something. With these few words, I do hope that this module could play a little role in enhancing your knowledge about the map projection. Thank you very much.